Hey there guys, in this video I'm going to be showing you my final boss clear on the current Dark Visions against Phoenix Hyoh. It's a human bird that is weak to fire, light, and darkness, and we're going primarily with fire, a little bit of darkness in this party. So this is the team that I'm going to be using. I'm going to go over the turn by turn, show you the gear at the end, turn chart will be in the comments, etc. So the one thing to know is the boss, when he dies, he will actually lock HP at 1% and then heal himself. So just keep that in mind. You see the top of the screen, can escape death once per battle. So the boss is going to be doing a few AoE physical attacks during this, and we're going to use Aya to deal with it. So on turn 1, the boss is going to use AoE Paralyze, Confusion, Physical Damage, some non-elemental AoE magic, then some AoE Earth magic that can be nether-sighted, and then the boss is going to put a field on our side of the party. So what we're going to do, Fina is going to use Shelga for the non-elemental magic. Aya in the base form will do Gene Heal, Barrier, and Haste. That's going to be a 5-stack Mirage, which we're going to need for later in the fight. Genesis can just guard. Void Mage Roka can just do Gravity Force. That'll buff us up on turn 5, which is going to be important. You'll see why later. Vanille is just going to break the boss with Short Circuit. And then Rain is going to use Power to Destroy Nethersight to stop that Earth attack, because we're not using Earth Resist. So here we go. So there's going to be an AoE physical attack, which we Mirage, an AoE magic attack, shouldn't deal much damage, and an AoE Earth attack that we Nether-sighted. And now there's a bad field on our side of the party, giving us a 50% light, our fire and lightning in peril. We're going to remove that later, but not right now. So this turn, the boss is going to do 2 additional AoE physicals. We've still got 4 stacks of Mirage remaining from Aya Brea, so we're fine there. The boss is also going to do single target death and more single target physical, which we're passive provoking with Fina with death immunity. Then some AoE thunder damage, then an AoE 80% thunder in peril, then another AoE thunder magic attack, and the last one after the in peril can be nether-sighted. So that's what we're going to do. So first of all, in order to stop most of the damage, we're going to use Roka to cast Avatar's Tenant. I know people don't like that. If you don't have Avatar's gear, you can just use more resistance or regular buffing. It's not quite as effective, but, you know, do what you can. Anyway, so we're going to go ahead and guard Genesis again. We're going to shift Rain here and start stacking his LB. So go ahead and do the shifted LB. Fina the Return will give us Human and Bird Killer. Now, the Avian Slayer is only available at EX3, unfortunately. And if you don't have an EX3 Fina, this might not be the best clear. I'll probably show you an alternate clear at the end of the video. So, Delightful Glow for the Human Killer, and then doesn't really matter what else. We can just use Arrow, who cares? Just don't imbue your party. So this turn, Vanille can just go ahead and put up the field with Fisher Field. That's a fire and peril field. And Aya Brea is going to Nether-sight, because we're not using enough Thunder Resist even with Avatars, because we did not remove the bad field yet. So we're going to Nether-sight the second Thunder attack that happens after the Imperil. So there's the Imperil, and the second Thunder attack is Nether-sighted. So we're good. So turn 3, the boss is going to use, yet again, 2 more physical attacks, but we're still miraging from Aya Brea's 5-stack earlier, so we're fine. More single target death, some AoE fire and peril, and then another AoE fire that could be nether-sighted, but this turn we're getting rid of this imperil field, so we're not going to need it. We still have avatars. So on this turn, we're going to be bursting, by the way, on turn 4. We're not going to kill the boss on turn 4 because of that HP lock. We're going to burst on turn 4 for our damage cap. So this turn, we're going to go ahead and SLB our Fina. Again, this strategy kind of requires an EX3 Fina. Aya Brea on this turn will shift and do her fire setup. So Fire Imbue, Awakened, and 150 Amplify. Genesis, get ready to burst as well. So 150 amp, whatever, and then final action preface for the focus. Flaring Rain is going to do what is it? 150 Amplify, Armor Grant Me Power, and then Unyielding for a bigger Human Killer buff. Vanille is going to do, we're going to do Imperilga. We're going to need that for the last turn. So Imperilga, Quaking Engine for the 89 breaks, and then just bring out the big guns for some personal damage. Her damage is not relevant, honestly. And then Roka. Roka is going to triple. We're going to go ahead and do Void Lands to replace the bad field with our good field. 150 Amplify. And then last action, I'll show you for the focus. So with avatars and the bad field removed, we're now still immune to the fire damage. Everyone has at least 30% fire resist, so even with the Imperil, we're okay. Okay, so let's see here. Now we're going to go ahead and do our burst. Remember, the boss is not going to die. The boss will HP lock. Now, the threshold will override the normal turn. Normally, the boss does a bunch of irritating stuff this turn, mitigations, more damage, etc. Blah, blah, blah. We don't care. We're going to threshold him instead and do our damage cap. So the boss is going to lock HP at 0. Then he's going to do some AoE fixed magic damage. Then he's going to heal himself, give himself some general mitigation. Then he's going to do more fire magical damage to the party. Then he's going to dispel all our party members, not himself. He's going to dispel all our party members. Dispel our party. I can't talk today. And then he's going to imperil us. Then he's going to end his turn. So as long as you've got fire immunity, which we all do, in this gear, you're going to be fine. And then after that, bad things would happen. We're going to kill the boss after that. The next turn doesn't matter. Anyway, for our damage cap, we're going to go ahead and shift Roka. And she's going to use her shifted LB, which is triple bolting strike. Then Vanille is going to just triple bolting strike as well. If your Vanille is EX2 or better, you could SLB here. Mine is not EX1, so whatever. So those are going to triple bolting together. They're going to go first and build the chain modifier for us because Roka is wrong party slot, not getting a good field, etc. Her damage is going to be very suffering in this clear. She's mostly the leader. Now, Rain is going to shift at LB. He's going to overlay into the rest of the party. His is triple absolute, but no one is going to match him. That's okay. Genesis will just cap with Purgatory. And then Aya will shift at LB, which is Extreme Nova. And then Fina will Extreme Nova with Aya from another source, either a Materia, a Vision card, or Dwayne's STMR. So, we're going to send Roka and Vanille first. Wait just a moment. Then we're going to send pretty much everyone else at the same time after that. Now, I already did a clear earlier and got like a 26.2. I'll show you that. I'm not going to reroll variants for the video. So this team goes anywhere between 19.8 to 30 billion. So a very wide variance range. I'm going to go ahead and do a clear. We'll see how we do, and then I'll show you my screenshot of my good clear, but I'm not going to farm variants all day long. So here we go. So we're going to chain these. Wait just a moment. Then chain the others. And then the boss will HP lock like I told you. And let's see what kind of damage we did. Oh my lord, we've got a new high. I don't even need to show you the old clear. 27 billion. Wow. I had 26.2 before. Anyway, there you go. As you see, the boss does HP locks, heals himself, does a bunch of fire damage. We've been completely dispelled, etc. And, well, just for the fun of it, I will show you the screenshot of the old highest, which was 26.2. And the video, good things happen when you record. So now I have 27. But anyway, here was the old 26.2. You can see the damage breakdown. But we're going back to the real clear because I've got a new high score coming in. So anyway, so now the boss, his guts is gone. Now we can just kill the boss. We're good to go. So the boss's debuffs are all still there. So he's still imperiled to all elements from Vanille, including light. So because we got completely dispelled, Fina will just do light imbue on the party so we can finish off the boss. And now we'll just chain on the boss. So we'll just use Adamus Blast 4 times with Roka. Vanille can SLB or triple bolting, doesn't matter. Rain can triple bolting. The boss is very easy to finish off. We'll SLB Genesis and Aya break and his triple bolting. Doesn't really matter. We'll just chain all these together. The boss is going to be super dead. So there we go. That was our clear. And boom, handled. I am so happy they got a new high. Awesome. And I'm still going to show you the other clear in a second as well, if you don't have like Vanille and stuff like that. And yeah, like I said, we did, you know, 500,000 or whatever, 500 million on the finish up turn. That doesn't matter. He's very easy to finish off. You just got to be, you know, aware of that. And let's check that damage breakdown. I've got a new high score. Feels good. And here's our damage breakdown. So Hyoh rolled very well that attempt. 8.8 billion. Her damage range is 6.8 to 10.4. She did a not, actually, honestly, not even that high. She goes as high as 10.4 billion. Anyway, Genesis has no leader skill whatsoever in this party. He does not match Roka's leader skill. So that is a leader skillless Genesis, is still, in my opinion, strong enough to come to the party with no leader skill at all. Anyway, because he has no leader skill, he's doing between 3.5 to 5.9. And he did almost perfect for this party. You know, if he had a leader skill, he'd be doing as high as the damage cap for him. Roka, now Roka is again getting penalized because we're on the fire party slot. We cannot split elements with her because she's locked to dark, period. And we didn't have a good dark field or a good dark imperil. She's basically just our leader for the fire party. She did 5.5. Her range is 3.6 to 5.9. Again, nearly perfect roll from the bad DPS. And then Rain, 5.9 to 8.2. He did 7. But that was a really good roll. That was a really good roll in this attempt. And then obviously Vanille and Fina don't deal damage. And at the current time, there is 16 cheaters, and I'm at rank 22. So yay! So I guess effectively I'm rank 6 or 7 after you avoid the cheaters. Anyway, let me show you the gear, and then I'll do a quick alternate clear with some different units. So here is the Espers. Espers don't matter too much. Keep in mind that Siren does have my Siren does have overcap bird killer learned. So we've got extra bird killer on Siren for my Aya. Anyway, here is the team we're dealing with. So Fina is passive provoke, full evasion. She needs to have a minimum of 30 fire resist and at the very least positive to or neutral to thunder resist. We're doing status immunity buff with, what's your girl's name? With Aya, so no one needs status immunity. Death immunity with the flag, and here's the gear. Passive provoke, oh, and a way to chain Extreme Nova. So Extreme Nova materia and there. And for this clear, she kind of needs EX3 to work out. Aya Brea, in the base form, just, you know, some bulk, auto buffing, kind of whatever, Nethicite, and at least neutral to the resistances. Shift form is at least 30 to fire resist for the threshold because we need 180 total on the threshold. We're getting 150 from avatars and we're getting the other 30 from gear. So there we go. She is maxed on bird and human killer, and there's the setup. I gave her all my best gear because she's my best damage dealer. Maxed LB damage, 350 bird killer and maxed human killer. Keep in mind we're getting overcap killer from Siren. Genesis, 30 or better fire resist, all that really matters. No leader skill whatsoever, so his very impressive 8,900 magic, wow, feels bad. 7,500 MP, but even with no leader skill, he still does really good damage. And then he's at max bird and max... Oh, I'm sorry, magical killers. Yeah, he's maxed on both. I was looking at the physical killers. Yeah, he's maxed on both. Void Mage Roka in the base form is just, you know, some resistances, some bulk, etc. Avatar's Chainmail in the base form so that we can get that good buff. And then here you go, just, you know, whatever, auto buffing. Shift form is, you know, she doesn't have the party slot bonus, no good field, etc. But here it is. And, you know, 30 fire resist, etc. I also gave her some chain speed, a little bit of chain speed, because she is building the chain in the beginning. And there we go. And then Vanille is, you know, 30 fire resist or better. Dual wielding multi-element weapons, so fire and dark weapon. There you go. And there it is, etc. And then here's the, you know, for damage. She didn't really deal damage. And did I show you Rain? I think I did. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Rain is using Nethicite in the base form. Other than that, a little bit of auto buffing, kind of whatever. And then shift form is, damage 30 or better. Actually, he absorbs fire, so he doesn't even need fire resist. But there is the clear. Anyway, he also has some chain speed because, Rain. And by the way, Fina is using a fire weapon, so Poppy's is fire included. So there's the clear. Turn chart will be in the comments. Now, if you don't have these units, I can show you a different party I was working on. This ended up being not as good. It's a little bit weaker. I'll go ahead and show you a clear, but this one is not going to have turn chart, but you can just follow along. So here's the clear that I used if you don't have Fina or Vanille. So we're using Malphase for the human killer. I'm sorry, for the bird killer. Ibarra for the human killer, and I'm using Black Blade Flame Reagan for the breaking. So we're basically not using a field. So this clear is very, very similar. I'll go ahead and do one run of it just to see how we do. But this is overall a weaker clear than the first one. So, okay, so on turn 1, Reagan is going to do Defensive Barrier and Double Break. We're going to start Rain in the base, go to the shift, and do Shifted LB to stack it up. Let's see, Ayabrea, once again, we'll do the 5-stack Mirage, Status Immunity, etc. Ibarra can just do a Noon. You could also do, if you really want more mitigation, you could do Bard Darkja, and then kind of whatever, and then a Noon for the Dark and Peril, etc. Do his thing. Roka, again, Gravity Force, and then Malphase on this turn will do Manufactured Nethicite as the last action. Very important to be the last action. That's going to stop the earth damage. Okay. So this turn, we're going to use Ibarra's base form LB. That's going to put up, all her personal buffs, Katana and Peril, etc. Roka is going to Avatar's Tenant. Rain on this turn is going to use the Vision card to Dark Amp himself because now we're on the Dark Party slot. Ayabrea on this turn is going to Nethicite as the last action. Malphase is going to do As the Crow Flies. And then Reagan is going to do his Magnus in the shift form to 89 break. And last action, we Nethicite yet again with Brea. Okay, so this turn we're going to start getting ready to burst. So Reagan's going to go to the base form, where he's then going to use Dark Amp, Mod Buff, then doesn't really matter what else. Brea is going to shift here and do all her fire setup. Ibarra is going to do Wish for Vengeance, Jimetsu's Prayer for the Human Killer, and last action Tsukiyuki-yo. Roka, same thing as the other clear. We're going to do Dark Amp, Field, and then Focus. Rain, this time, is going to do Undermine, Elemental Burst Fire, and then Armor Grant Me Power. Malphase is going to shift here. And because no one else is doing a field, she may as well give herself a field. So she'll do a Wind Field just for herself. So Wind Field, Skilled Scavengers, Bird Killer with Avian Ranker, and then Fleetwood Flyers. And okay, so we're going to burst next turn. And we're probably going to do like 22, 23 billion. This clear is not as good as the other run. But, it'll give you something if you don't have the other stuff. But technically, according to calculations, on perfect variance, this clear could go as high as like 28. So, who knows? It actually is possible we get higher. So for this one, we're going to use Reagan's base form LB, Rain's shifted LB, Roka's shifted LB. Now this time, Roka is weaving into everyone else. Aya's shifted LB, Malphase's shifted LB, and Ibarra's capping shifted LB. So same thing, we're going to build the chain with Reagan and Rain, wait just a second, then chain the rest. So Reagan, Rain, wait just a second, chain the rest. And we're going to hope for, a high number. But, oh god, 4.5 on Ibarra. Yeah, 23.6, this clear is nowhere near as good as the other one. But, it's an alternative if you don't have better. And then you go ahead and kill the boss. So for this one, to kill the boss, we'll use Malphase to imbue the party with Anaroga. And then we'll just burst. So we'll triple bolting you, triple bolting you. Rain can triple bolting. Ibarra can triple bolting. And Roka can... Come on, Roka. Roka can just do Atomos Blast 3 times. Actually, I should have done Distorted Sky as the last action. Anyway, there it is. So we killed the boss. I'll show you the damage breakdown, and I'll briefly show you the gear. But this one is not as good as the other clear, just FYI. But hey, we did better on the follow-up turn. Okay, let me show you real quick damage breakdown. So here you go. Yeah, so 2.4 on Malphase, who is using pure wind damage, and she is also on the wrong party slot. Also does not get a leader skill. So even with no leader skill, wrong element, and not the DV party bonus, she's still doing 2.4. Ayabrea with, we're not doing the big fire team this time. So 5.1, she's on a dark party slot. No field for her. That matters. Ibarra, 4.8. Kind of a low roll for her, honestly. Blades of Reagan, 1.5. Again, he is not getting a leader skill in this clear. Rain, 3.6. And, we're on the dark party slot. And then this time, Roka got 6.8. This was a pretty bad roll. But anyway, this team is not as good. So, just real quickly, I will show you the gear we're using. So, Malphase, here's the base one. I'm not going to linger here because the video is already too long. Cool smile card. And then here is the shifted gear. Ayabrea base form gear. There it is. Shift form gear. There it is. And this is like a secondary clear, so I'm not really trying to spend a ton of time going over this gear. I probably shouldn't have done this in the same video. Base form for Reagan, shift form is the setup form, so there we go. And then Rain, base form, just some auto buffing, shift form is right there. And there's the card for the amp. And then Roka, base form, just auto buffing, and then shift form. She was geared the best in this run. And okay, there was my 2 clears. Hope it helps. See you in a bit.